pastors. Y'all got teachers. Y'all got mentors. You've got people to speak for you and on your behalf. So I don't want to be that for you. But I'm okay with being a watchman. Ha! 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11 says this: lest Satan should get the advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's my scripture for today. For Satan, the adversary, the antagonist of the chosen, of the elect, of the commissioned soul, looks to deceive. His purpose is to kill, to steal, and to destroy. And his purpose for us is to just continue to walk in the lust of our flesh, the lust of our eyes, and the pride of life. Now, I'm going to take a sidebar. Let me lighten the load a little bit. Because this song came to mind. Now, remember the song I just sang, If Your Soul is Sweet, If Your Soul is Sweet? I learned that song as a preteen. When we were introduced into Christendom at a church, I don't mind saying it, Roseland Faith Temple in Chicago. It was off 107th. And they tell me that this person at one time used to go there, used to sing there, and his mother was down the street. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. That's what they told me. But we were major participants of this ministry for a number of years. This was the place of if y'all was following me early, when Dad would come into the room, he said, "Come on, boys, let's go." Go where? We're going to clean up the church. We're going to clean up. Okay, all right. So the song that came to mind, some of you know that I used to do security on this particular day. I was about to head out to work, and I went into the living room, I think, of my parents' house, and I peered in because what I remember seeing, I'm basing it on memory. It could have been the house that we own, but I'm believing it was my parents' house, and I was getting ready for work, and I came down into the living room, and there was a show on. It was like a talent show. I don't know what it was, but something along those lines. And they had singers on the stage, and then this guy came out on the stage, and if I remember correctly, he was a little bit smaller in frame. He had some Timberland boots on. And at the time, if I be not mistaken, he was bald-headed. But he started to sing, and I stopped in my tracks. And I said, that's coming out of him? Y'all can talk about me later because I'm about to tell you who it was. And the song that he wrote is, I Believe I Can Fly. If I could sing, I would sing that song, but I just wrote the words down. It said, I used to think that I could not go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through the open door. I believe I can fly. Can I tell y'all something? When someone believes like that, You can't tell them nothing. Before I came out in front of the camera, these are some of the words that I heard. It was this. Delay does not mean denial. I'm going to say that again. Delay does not mean denial. One more time. Delay does not mean denial. Whatever you've been waiting for, whatever you've been hoping for, you're talking about manifestations. One of the affirmations for me is I am that I am walking by now faith. That's for all my manifestations. By now faith, for by it the elders, the ancients obtained a good report, many of whom the world was not worthy. Some of us are looked upon as quacks. What are you doing? You're crazy. You need to go see somebody. You ain't seeing nothing. You're not dreaming. No! I believe I can, did I hear y'all say it? Fly! It goes on to say, I think about it. What? Night and day. You talking about seeing faith, walking in faith. He said, I see myself walking through the open door, not a closed door. If it's a business you want to start the business. I just gave you a little bit more to work with. Delay does not mean denial. Some of you waiting for your healing. Some of you waiting for your deliverance. I know. They said, but just last week you were talking about, you know, the card readers and the no! I'm talking about the great mystery. I'm talking about Jehovah Rapha, the Lord who heals. I'm talking about the great spirit. I'm talking about Yahweh. I'm talking about Elohim. I'm talking about Jehovah. I'm talking about Adonai. There's someone online that I watched when she says, Rah! It does something on the inside. Y'all hear me? Emmanuel, Allah, El Elyon. Who am I to judge you by your faith? Unless I want to, because the scriptures tells me to mark the perfect man and to behold the upright. But if you see yourself walking through an open door, who am I to say anything? Walk home. I'll celebrate with you. I told you I was at the grandiose open. How about you? That's not the time to get sour and salty and bitter. Rejoice with them that rejoice. Huh? Your time is coming. Delay is not denial. Okay, that brings me to the subject matter. Okay. My subject for today is boards don't hit back. Yeah. Boards don't hit back. But that's with a twist. Boards don't hit back. Where did you get that from? Well, I'm a fan of someone named Bruce Lee. The movie was called Enter the Dragon. You know, for the record, intellectual property. I'm declaring where I got it from. But there's a twist to the title. Boards don't hit back. Well, why boards don't hit back? One of the scenes in the movie is they're on the proving grounds or the parade deck, if you will. And there's an opponent who happened to have been guilty of causing the death of the role that Bruce Lee was playing, if I be not mistaken, to kill herself because she saw no other way out. But he held him responsible, and the time had come for them to fight it out. The opponent stood out, and he took a board. He held it up in the air, and he punched it and broke it. And the character role that Bruce Lee was playing, he looked over at him. He says, "Boards don't hit back."